how tell me, first of all, how are you doing right now?
I got finished with my book, so I think I'm pretty good. I think it helped me mentally to write it, to get it all out there, to get my story out there. So I feel better than I did.
So going through this whole
Can
trial,
I-
that what's that?
Go ahead.
Did you
Sorry.
feel like your story wasn't getting out there then? Is that why you wanted to write this book?
Well, what do you think? Do you think my story was out there? Did you read anything from that came from me?
Well, I saw a lot of videos played in court of you talking. Did you feel like that didn't portray an accurate picture?
No, that didn't help. No, the book does a much better job in telling people what happened from my side of things. Obviously,
So what is in the book? What are people going to see and read that they maybe don't know?
they don't know anything, dude. I didn't see anything in the media that told my side of things. So if you want to know my side of things, it told about it. The book goes into Emily's and our relationship and what happened when I got arrested in the investigation and when I was in jail and and the trial.
Can you give us a little nugget here or there, or something that is most important for you to have people read that's in the book?
Uh, I don't know how to answer that. It's my story right from the beginning, right from the day I called her in, all the way until I got out of jail.
How many days did you spend in jail?
Days, I was 15 months, I think. So whatever that is.
Now that you have your freedom and you were declared not guilty, what do you think when you look back on the fact that you spent 15 months in prison, in jail rather?
Yeah, jail's a little different than prison.
Yeah.
It was also unnecessary.
Tell me about the trial and going through the trial. You know, it was several days. As you say, a lot of things were played and shown and said in court. How was it for you to go through that?
The trial was tough. Yeah, it was hard. The whole thing was tough. I'd never been a part of anything like that before. What was going on in the media, I thought that's what would be going on in trial, but it didn't turn out to be like that. It wasn't. It was. I was impressed. The judge he was great. If you really want to know what happened, you need to read my book and you need to watch the trial. It's a lot to watch. There's a lot of hours, but you're not going to get the truth from the media. You're not going to get the truth from what the Westerville Police Department fed the media. But if you want to know the truth, you have to go. The trial did really well. I mean, I thought what was presented at trial was an attempt at making the truth come to light.
I mean, a lot of people think Diane Menashe did a great job for you.
She really did, and she wasn't there to explain what happened. She just was there to tell people that the version of what they said happened wasn't true, and she did that. But if you want to know if you're interested in what really happened, read my book.
I was very interested in seeing your reaction to the verdict, and I've always been curious to know: did you think it was going to go your way or not? I mean, obviously, you did not.
I did not. I did not. I did not think. I thought I was going to get convicted. That's because when you're in that world, when you're in jail for 15 months, it's just that's so negative. Everything's so negative. So yeah, it was tough.
It was clear that you were really overcome with emotion when the verdict was read. What was going through your mind?
Nothing. You don't let things go through your mind when you're in that situation. I think you're just numb. You're just sitting there. Everything's out of your control, so you just sit back and yeah, it was very emotional.
Well, I have to ask because I think a lot of people really want to know this question. What do you think happened to Emily?
Yeah, you have to read the book, I guess. I think everybody knows what happened.
Which is?
It's really obvious. You have to just read the book, but everybody knows what happened. So,
Well, I mean, if you don't want to get into details, do you think that she was murdered or do you think she died by suicide? Are you not even comfortable saying whether you feel your wife was killed or she died by suicide?
am I comfortable with that?
Yeah.
I think everybody knows already, so I don't feel I have to. I don't feel the need to. I think most people know.
That you think your wife died by suicide?
Yeah. And I don't know. It just feels funny for me to have to explain myself because it's so obvious what happened.
Well, you have to know, you mentioned you care about what the community thinks. You know that there is a large segment of the community that feels that you got away with murder.
Mm. Right.
How does it feel knowing that?
Yeah, that's it's something you have to get used to, I guess. It's not fun. I like Westerville. It was really nice living there. I care about what the people there think. I hope they read my book, and I hope it helps them in some way to see what's going on.
I feel like if people read your book, that they will get a whole new picture of what really happened and maybe have a better understanding of what happened.
Yes, I do. And the people that are that think I'm guilty, there's nothing I'm going to say to change that. There's nothing I can do. But if you're on the fence, it'll help because there's a lot of stuff that they didn't know that the book will help them with. I hope her family reads it.
Were you surprised that you felt compelled to write this book? Were you surprised about it yourself? Because I think a lot of people in your shoes might have said, I went through something horrible. As you said, you maybe barely got off. You felt it was not going to go your way. Why not sort of slink away silently into the night? Why put this out there?
I guess if I was guilty, I would have just been like, whoa, wow, and just go away. But it didn't feel right about just, and I was advised to do that by a lot of people. They were like, you probably just want to get out of here and keep quiet. But it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to do that at all. Because of the way I was portrayed in the media, people's perception of me is way off. So I just wanted to, I wanted to give my shot at getting my name back, and I felt like a book would be the best way to do it. And it was therapeutic at the same time as me trying to fix things in the public's perception.
Well, speaking of the public's perception, I'm just going to ask you flat out because I think, this gives you your chance to really just say it. But did you kill your wife, Emily?
No, I did not. I think most people know that.
Why do you think, if it sounds like, you believe that your wife died by suicide, why do you think she did that?
Well, I'm not a doctor. Emily was a very deep person. She had a hard life. Why my son committed suicide? Why did he? I mean, I don't understand it. Who understands suicide?
What was it like for you to go through losing your wife and then standing trial for her murder?
It's indescribable. I couldn't. It distracted me from dealing with her death. The loss of Joey, my son. I was in grief. I was grieving, and because of that, especially with Emily, I didn't have a chance to mourn my wife because of the pressure from police and the community. So it was like I had to put it away so that I could deal with being accused of murder, which is a thing in its own. So I guess in a way it might have helped me through the grief with Emily, because I couldn't think about her, and I still really don't. It's really hard. Grief is a process, and usually you have a funeral, you get together with the family, her loved ones, and you go through it like a normal person. This was just not normal at all. So yeah, there's no closure with Emily and me in her death. So it's the combination of being accused of murder at the same time, dealing with that. It's a pressure and a feeling that I can't describe. I try in my book, but it's tough to even. It's a complicated emotion. Let's say that.
Do you feel like you haven't been able to grieve yet, or is that never going to happen because of all of this?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's strange because you're supposed to grieve immediately. But this, I didn't. I guess right when I was found not guilty is when I started to be able to grieve her, which I just. So that's why probably I got emotional. That was her more than anything else. I could start the grief process with my wife was it right there in court when they said not guilty.
Is there one detail? Is there one little thing, a nugget that you can give us that we don't have to read the book to get?
A big part of demonizing me in the public was that I didn't search for Emily.
Yeah.
I was just sitting home, drinking, not looking for Emily. To this day, well, yeah, see, I got to get, to this day, that's what they're saying, that I wasn't searching. Even after the trial, even after everybody knows now, if you watch the trial, that I was searching, they're still saying that I wasn't searching. That's just a lie, along with a lot of other lies.
I know, one of the things they kind of pointed to in the trial too, they shared a lot of the messages and exchanges and texts between you two to try to show that your marriage was crumbling, and that's why you maybe wanted to kill her, perhaps. What do
Does
you
that make sense? Does that make sense to you that someone that wants that the marriage is crumbling, so they kill their wife? I mean, and what evidence do they have that my wife is crumbling?
Well, she took off her
Because
wedding, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, there's that type of thing. I mean, if you look at anybody's uh, relationship with their wives, I mean, you can probably pick that story out of it. If you cherry pick the evidence, you can make that type of claim to be true. It's yeah, she took her wedding rings off. She probably did several times in our short marriage because that was Emily. It's something I got used to, and I try to explain that to them. That's just how Emily was. She was emotional.
Were you two on the brink of a divorce though, or separation? Were you going to
No,
now?
not at all. We were spending every day together because of COVID, and we got really close. The last couple months, she stayed home from work.
So were you then surprised to find out that she would go and die by suicide? If that's what you believe. If you were together and all of that, I mean, was it a shock to you that she would do that?
No,
Why not?
well, I knew her. It's a complicated issue. If you have ever known anybody that's committed suicide, um, that story it's a complicated one. If you're close to someone who kills themselves, I've been there twice with my son and my wife. It's a very difficult situation to be in. Our marriage was important to her, but her problems ran really deep. She had a hard life. It's I hate to say it, but it's in the book. She was am I going to say she killed herself because of me? uh no. She had real problems. I'm sure I didn't help at times, but to say that she killed herself because her marriage was ending, her marriage wasn't ending, and even if it was, she wouldn't have done it. She killed herself over that. She had real problems.